Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you as always for watching my videos. This time, I've put together an overview of how to play Doomsday against Lands, along with my approach to sideboarding for the matchup. There's also a link to the pile breakdown video in the description, so feel free to check it out. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. This hand looks landlight, so I'm taking a mulligan. Put Dark Ritual on the bottom. It looks like my opponent is on lands. I'm going to cut Disruptor Flute. I took out Crop Rotation. I'm digging for Doomsday. Surveil's effect leaves it on top of the library. My opponent names Tamiyo Seasoned Scholar. I'm going all in. From here, I'll increase the mana needed for the combo. My opponent has a Ghost Quarter in play. By including an island in the pile, I'm playing around Ghost Quarter. Next, I have a fetch land in play. I include a dual land in the pile so that the fetch land can act as a pile opener. I don't think my opponent has Talon Gates of Madara, so I'll fill the pile with Thassa's Oracle and a Cycler and plan to win next turn. I built the pile in the following order: Island Dual Land, Thassa's Oracle, Edge of Autumn, Street Wraith. Using the pile opener to start drawing through the pile. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. These are the lands cards that matter against Doomsday. First, we have Disruptor Flute. Next is Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle can shut down our cyclers, such as Edge of Autumn and Street Wraith, as well as our fetch lands. You won't see it very often, but be careful. If it gets fetched unexpectedly off Chapter 3 of Urza's Saga, it can really throw off your calculations. Next is Deafening Silence. This card shuts off our ritual-based mana acceleration. To deal with this, we can deploy Lotus Petal early, and use fetch lands to play around the opponent's wasteland while continuing to develop our mana. Against these, we bring in Force of Negation and Consign to Memory. In exchange, we cut Tamiyo Inquisitive Student and Orcish Bowmasters. The reason we cut Tamiyo is that the game often ends before it can start generating advantage, making its overall impact on the game quite low. Additionally, we bring in Brazen Borrower and Hide on the Ceiling. In exchange, we cut Daze, Duress, and Cavern of Souls. The reason we trim Daze is that the opponent can develop their mana quickly with Exploration, so Daze loses its effectiveness fast. Next is Endurance. If we try to close the game by casting Thassa's Oracle and the opponent responds with Endurance, the pile gets repaired, and we can't win. Normally, this can be avoided by including 2 copies of Thassa's Oracle in the pile. But in this list, we're only playing a single copy of Thassa's Oracle. Additionally, since this list doesn't include Nihil Spellbomb, the way we deal with Endurance is by leveraging Thoughtseize and Force of Will. Next is Boseiju, Who Endures. While it often doesn't have much impact on its own, when combined with Wasteland it can sometimes be used to dismantle our mana base. When building a pile, I think it's better to leave yourself a bit of extra room in terms of lands. Next are Consign to Memory and Flusterstorm. They don't seem to be included very often these days, but some players still run them, so you need to be aware of them. As a rule of thumb, if you see a land producing blue mana in an unusual way, it's a good idea to be on alert for these cards. Since we're using a list that happens to run Wasteland, I'd like to take a closer look at the Dark Depths combo. First, I activate Thespian Stage, targeting Dark Depths. After that, Thespian Stage becomes a copy of Dark Depths. Due to the legend rule, only the copy of Dark Depths remains on the battlefield, which causes the ability to create a Marit Lage token to trigger. At this point, if we activate Wasteland, the copied Dark Depths is put into the graveyard, and the ability to create a Marit Lage token is neutralized. Let's rewind to the previous situation. This is the situation we just discussed, where only the copied Dark Depths remains on the battlefield and the ability to create a Marit Lage token has triggered. Just like before, I activated Wasteland targeting the copied Dark Depths. At that point, let's assume my opponent counters the Marit Lage token trigger with Consign to Memory. Because the ability to create a Marit Lage token is a continuously triggered ability. Once it's countered, a new trigger to create a Marit Lage token immediately triggers again. Because the Marit Lage token creating ability resolves first, the Marit Lage token enters the battlefield first in this case. To summarize, when Thespian Stage targets Dark Depths, if there's a possibility that your opponent is holding Consign to Memory, you may be able to prevent a sudden loss by using Wasteland on Thespian Stage before it becomes a copy. It's a bit weak, but it has card draw, lands, and interaction, so I'm going to keep it. Unlike Turbo Doomsday, Tempo Doomsday doesn't reliably gain speed just by mulliganing. I think this is about as weak as I'm willing to keep, and I'll probably look to make a move around turn 3. I'll use discard to check what's ahead. I took out Elvish Reclaimer. I'm digging for Doomsday. Surveil's effect sends it to the graveyard. I'm digging for Doomsday. I put Dark Ritual back first, followed by Lion's Eye Diamond, but it would have been better to keep Lion's Eye Diamond and put Forcible back instead. I'm digging for Doomsday. Didn't find it, so I shuffle. And this is where the adventure comes to an end. I'll keep this hand since it looks like I can go all in on the first turn. I'm going all in. From here, I'll increase the mana needed for the combo. With Thoughtseize and Daze in hand, it looks like I can handle my opponent's Disruptor Flute. Another way we can lose is if the opponent has multiple copies of Endurance in hand. I want to use Ponder from my hand as the pile opener, so I'm including Thoughtseize in the pile as insurance. The other remaining way we lose is if all of our lands get destroyed, leaving us unable to cast Thassa's Oracle. I'll include as many lands as possible in the pile. I built the pile in the following order: Island Thassa's Oracle, Thoughtseize, dual land. To play around Deafening Silence, I play out Lotus Petal first. I'll use discard to check what's ahead. I'll counter it with Daze. I took out Elvish Reclaimer, using the pile opener to start drawing through the pile. I'll use discard to check what's ahead. I win with Thassa's Oracle. Thank you very much for watching until the end. I apologize for the many misplays along the way. I hope we can all continue to improve at Magic together. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. I'll see you again in the next video. This is Antya, signing off.